So I'm Dr. Abhidnya Surve, and I would be presenting on macular association of tilted disc syndrome, the study conducted at RP Center, AIIMS. So what is a tilted disc syndrome? A brief introduction. It is a clinical syndrome where a patient usually presents with a normal visual acuity with a refractive error, especially myopic astigmatism. In these cases, what we have is inferior nasal tilting of the disc, there is inferior peripapillary crescent, and there is irregular orientation or nasalization of the retinal vessels, which is called a situs inversus. Also, there is asymmetric chorioretinal degeneration, that is, the superior and inferior part have different amount of degeneration. And these cases usually have shallow staphylomas prominently in the inferior nasal area. Now, if we do only a horizontal scan of OCT, it might be normal. But when a vertical scan of OCT is done, we see that there is a shallow staphyloma present. So, as I see what they know, this has been an under-recognized congenital abnormality with a reported prevalence of 1 to 2%, and macular complications were seen in 4 to 50. So, we thought of describing the macular changes which are associated with this tilted disc syndrome cases. It was a retrospective observational study where consecutive cases of TDS were included and studied using color fundus imaging and Swepsus OCT radial scans. Other investigations were performed as and when required. So total of 20 cases were included with a mean age of 36.4 years. On OCT, we saw that there was a shallow staphyloma and an abrupt change in choroidal thickness was seen in this area. Also, in about 14 eyes, 38.89%, the retinal layers did not show any abnormality. In other cases, where in about 9 cases, that is 25%, there were prominent outer retinal changes present and ellipsoid zone changes where the visual acuity was normal. However, this could be because of the plane of incidence light. The macular changes prominently, that is outer retinal changes, were seen in 13 eyes, that is 36.11% of cases. And what were they involved? Included macular hole in 3 cases, pigment epithelial detachment, subretinal fluid in 5 cases, CSC in 2 cases, and 2 cases had choroidal neovascular membrane. So coming to the cases, this was a 33-year-old patient which had presented with tilted disc syndrome and had macular hole which was seen as hyperautofluorescent on FAF. And you can see that there is a macular hole of about 621 microns seen at the edge of the staphyloma. This patient underwent pars plana vitrectomy with ILM peeling and SF6 tamponade, and 3 months post surgery, visual acuity had regained to 20/80 with type 1 macular hole closure. This was another case who had lamellar macular hole, and again it was seen at the upper edge of the staphyloma. This was the case where there was pigment epithelial detachment. However, in this case, there was not much of change in the choroidal thickness. This patient did well over a period of time. Now, there were 5 cases where there was subretinal fluid on OCT. When we performed an FFA, leak was observed in 2 cases, and these cases also had dilated choroidal vessels, suggestive of central serous chorioretinopathy. However, no leak was seen in 3 cases where we labeled it as subretinal fluid. Now, this was a case who had presented with tilted disc syndrome and showed variable autofluorescence. When FA was done, we saw that there was pinpoint leak present. Now, this patient had also received 2 anti-VEGF from outside and was earlier diagnosed as CNVM because the OCT showed subretinal fibrin with subretinal fluid in the surrounding areas. However, we can see that there are no dilated choriocapillaries. There was dilated choriocapillaries in this area. When we did an OCTA, there was no choroidal neovascular membrane present. So a diagnosis of CSC was made, and this patient received micropulse laser, and the subretinal fluid had decreased. However, the patient did not gain any vision. Subretinal fluid. This was another case where we saw that the patient had presented with diminution of vision, and when we did a OCT, we saw that there was subretinal fluid present. However, no dilated choriocapillary vessels or presence of any leak on FA. We gave this patient dorzolamide, and this patient improved within 6 weeks. This was another case who showed pigmentary TDS with pigmentary disturbances. PAF showed variable autofluorescence. On OCT, we saw that again there were outer retinal changes in both the eyes prominently at the upper edge of the staphyloma. This was a case who had presented with choroidal neovascular membrane. OCTA showed it very beautifully. So total of 13 cases, that is 36.11% cases, had macular changes, and all except one had changes at the upper edge of the staphyloма. So depending upon the area involved, it could be either above the fovea, at the fovea, or below the fovea. And it is at the fovea cases which needs to be regularly followed up. So a various pathophysiology could have been told about tilted disc syndrome. However, we say that the acute bending of the staphylomatous area could be the cause for the local degenerative changes. So we have tried to answer the following question: that what is TDS, what were the OCT characteristic, how many had macula involved, and which patients are the one who need close follow-up. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, doctor. Do you think having a tilted disc syndrome alters the clinical course of these patients with macular pathology if the patient did not have a tilted disc?
Sir, we have seen that most of these cases had prominent involvement at the upper edge of the staphyloma. So the variability, whoever had received CNVM injection, functionally they did not have gain in vision. That was first thing. And second thing, prominently we wanted to describe which are the cases whom you need to closely observe. First of all, diagnosing, because you might confuse it with just label it as myopia or dome-shaped macula, differentiating it, and which are the cases who need follow-up regularly. So
okay,
what it might be that some of them may be just correlated, that macular hole could be present in that area. But this was what we had found when we observed all the cases of tilted disc syndrome.
Okay. Any other questions from the panel?
Dr. Abhinaya, the CSC-like leak that you described, do you think the pathomechanism here can be similar to what is seen in dome-shaped macula?
So could be. We have to see, but say in dome-shaped macula, we do not see leak areas. There is subretinal fluid present in those areas, but leak points.
Did you find the difference between tilted disc and normal myopic patients? What was your exact observation? Like any other patient who has staphylogram in these patients?
So usually this patient have myopic astigmatism, and there are few patients who have myopia also, in addition with the tilted disc syndrome features. That is the upper and lower chororetinal degeneration is different. There is astigmatism present in these cases.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.